the Holton Motorcycle Trailhead near Muskegon, Michigan. It's my first time here, and take you guys on an adventure. We can check out the trail together. There's outhouses, a big parking lot. This is the entry to the trail. You got to go a couple hundred yards into the woods. There's lots of these pine trees. Some of them are tight together, and once you get a ways into the woods there, you got a decision. You go left or right. I don't think the trail is directional in any way. There's plenty of visibility. All these pine trees, they don't really have any leaves, so you can see motorcycles and stuff oncoming and going, and it's not an issue.
Hey guys, I just want to interrupt the video for a second. I just want you to know this is the Holton Loop in Holton, Michigan. It's near Muskegon. It's a single track trail in the woods. For some reason I read the sign wrong and I kept saying Holton Loop throughout the entire video. So I just want everyone to know this is the Holton Loop, and please enjoy the video.
These are some big whoops. I'm telling you, it's like a motocross track. My brother would hate this trail. He'd like sections of it, but he wouldn't make the trip for that. At least I think he would hate it. Here we are at the Holton Motorcycle Trail in the middle of Michigan. The first time I've ever ridden here. Today we're on the Beta 500. We're just going to cruise the trail. I have no idea what to expect, so bring you guys with me. Well, the first thing I noticed is lots of pine trees. And I forgot to start my camera at the beginning, so we're starting here about 1,000 yards from the beginning. Whoa, you hit one of these trees, it's gonna hurt. Over by the trailhead, it was really whooped out, like crazy whooped out. Whoa, you definitely are gonna need tight. Jesus. Having your bars chopped down here would really help. But I think part of this trail is a 50-inch wide trail. So we're gonna explore a little today. Check it out. Pretty nice trail so far, except for a few tight spots with some bigger trees. Lots of whoops though. One guy in the parking lot. He had a KTM 300, it looks like. He's getting ready to go out. We'll see if we cross paths. Wow, these are huge group whoops. Those are, so far the whoops here are bigger than tomahawks. But there's sections in the woods that are really nice. Beta 500. Pretty fun on this. the edges here because the whoops are so big. Like, I mean, you can't go to the outside. The whoops are so wide. On Tomahawk Trail, sometimes you can get around the holes, but it is what it is. I'm not going to go too crazy fast because I'm all alone. Don't want to hit a tree, have an accident. Lots of whoops. I was planning on, there's 3 loops in this area, and I was going to consider doing them all, but with the whoops this big, my legs are going to be totally tapped. My knees will be hurting before I get done with this one. Yeah, there's just so many. Somebody needs to come through here with a groomer. I think we're the first person out today. We're cutting the spider webs on the trail. Pretty nice trail though. It is. I didn't get to see the statistics. Last night I was downloading all this stuff. So I'm on my way back to Illinois. This trail's on the way. So I figured I'd check it out. Definitely a workout, I'll tell you that much. Sections here between the pine trees are just so whooped out. I can't imagine anyone won't fly through there. So I'm sure the racer guys do. Can't really let her eat on this trail. It's really windy. And there's so many trees. Yeah, particularly, I'm not a huge fan of trails that are this whooped out. I like them more slowly. We gotta get someone with a groomer out here. The trail seems to wind around a lot, like it's not covering a vast distance. I could be wrong though. I'll have to check out my map. hit a straightaway with whoops through the trees, then you turn around and go the other way and you hit a similar thing. Pretty cool. Definitely flat. Not many hills. Getting a little arm pump on my right arm. All these whoops hanging on. Different type of section with less whoops. I think we're heading towards the 50-inch wide area now. So we'll see. Big turn. Oh, that hit me good. Yeah, this is pretty rough, man. It's should have started my thing so I know where we parked. Super whooped out trail. Here we come. Tighter than, whoa, that could have been bad. I hit the tree and it threw me off course. It's a little tighter than the beginning area. Need my 300 in here. The 500, there's a lot of inertia. Takes a lot more effort to move it around. The one thing I dislike about these types of trails is there always seems to be a tree on the inside of turns. And you want to lean the bike into the turn, but you really can't, because you'll hit the tree. So it throws you all out of whack, at least for an average rider like me. This reminds me of if I was a kid and I wanted to go make a little turn track for my BMX bike at my local park. This trail kind of reminds me of that. That's what would happen. Pretty tight, lots of turns. Definitely dead flat. There is no hills whatsoever. Not like up in Tomahawk trails. Those have a lot more hills. I did a video search on this trail before I came here. The guy had a title, Best Trail in Michigan. And while it's kind of cool, I would disagree with that. And I've only seen part of the trails in Michigan. UPs out here are really good. Tell you what, the power band on this Beta 500 is so linear and smooth that I just get tons of traction in here. You know, even if I crank it wide open, it just rips. It's like perfect for trail riding. If I didn't have a 300 two-stroke, oh, lost my balance there, I would definitely use this as my do-it-all bike. I get a little more worn out on the longer rides on the single track, but I would have just as much fun. I wouldn't want it on a really tight trail though, because it is a little more meaty. The motor is just awesome. I don't know what it is, like the difference between this and the KTM 500. My brother's like his power, it's almost like he doesn't have a balance there. The power just comes on like instantly, where this is a little lazier. You know, they're almost dead even in a race. We did some races this weekend, and they're like dead even. But the way the power is delivered on his is way more violent, and in some senses it's more fun. Because like his, you could be in like probably fifth gear, rolling the gas, it'll pull a tire in almost every gear. This is more lazy. Like I could be in third gear, if I get traction, it'll pull a tire. Before the fifth, I kind of got to work at it a little bit. It won't just rip it up. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but for trail riding, it makes it, you know, easier. You know, you're not afraid you're going to whiskey throttle it into a tree all the time. Whoa. Like, getting tight. A couple of these trees are tight. Whoa. That one could have been ugly. Dan is definitely the way to go. Huh? Whoa. Front end started to push a little there. I'll tell you what, these tires on this Beta 500 are really good in sand. They're not that much different from my Ray-Hu MR Pro tires, but man, at least on this bike, there so much better. That bike is just losing the front end all over the place. But that might be a little bit due to my harsh suspension on the MR Pro, which I have to figure out, because I don't like riding that bike on the single track. It's just too harsh. Oh Jesus. These are monster whoops. It takes bypass. Stop ahead. This road here. Alright. No idea where I am. Whoa, my phone mount's moving. Ah, crap, let's fix that. I've been having trouble with my phone mount. That would have sucked if I lost my phone. My Honda garage phone mount keeps moving around on me. Well guys, I moved the phone mount over here, but we'll see how that works. We didn't get that far. We started here and we're here now. We'll get up to there and we got to pick a trail. Yeah, we'll go around the whole loop, see how it goes. I did discover I got an antifreeze smell, and I'm not sure why. And I remembered it the other day and I forgot to check it. So fingers crossed we don't overheat, because we're leaking antifreeze. That could be bad. So we'll see. See what happens. Alright. There we go, boys. This loop is bigger than I thought. Tight. When we get home, we're definitely going to have to inspect this antifreeze problem. We're definitely not running hot. This bike never runs hot unless you're sitting there and letting it idle. Oh, you see that tree sticking out? That one don't like the tight section, I tend to slow down for them. Alright, so considering this is pretty long, let's do the green one because that one looks a little longer. Just nicked that one. Spider web. Whoa. Almost lost the front there. Sit down to rest a little bit. This section is fun. It's not crazy whooped out like the beginning section, but we're all the way on the other side of the trail now. Pick that one. Whoa, hit that one. Getting a little tight. Alright, let's check our phone mount. Pretty good. Where are we at now? Yeah, we're wrapping around now. Sit down and take a little breather for a little bit. Go a little slower. got I think almost 200 miles on my bike now. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I haven't checked on. I got 200 on the Rehu. I don't know how many I got on this. But what I noticed is I don't use the rain mode or the traction control. I think they're kind of useless. Rain mode I can see using on a trail like this. It does cut a little bit of power, like right off the top. Like that first part of the throttle switch, it just tames it a little. Traction control, I haven't figured out what that does yet. Whoop. It don't work like a wheel speed sensor. It just cuts power, it like smooths out the throttle, I think. My dealer told me what it did, I can't remember. But it seems more like a gimmick to me than anything. My 700ES has traction control and it's got a wheel speed sensor. So whenever that thing starts slipping, it starts cutting power and it gives you a little bit less. Tries to get traction. This thing does not work that way. It just cuts a little bit of throttle response, I think. I'll tell you what, this bike with the 14-tooth sprocket, second gear is perfect in here. It's like right, ow, hit that tree, my shoulder, right in the meat of the power. After we went riding yesterday, my left knee was really hurting. I have a lot of knee injuries, I had 2 surgeries, so whoops areas like this, they really take it out of my knees really quick, and I can't stand up anymore. Being an old guy, one of the things you gotta deal with. Now they're temp 191. Not bad. Whatever my antifreeze leak is, it's a little trickle, I think. I'll figure it out this winter. This bike's almost new. It might be a fitting or something. I have an 800 DE Suzuki, and right from the factory, that sucker had a massive antifreeze leak. It would spray. The hose clamp was defective or something, and it would just shoot out when it got under pressure. Whoa, I had to warranty that, but it's been great since. Wouldn't expect that from a Suzuki, but I guess it happens to all the brands. I was watching this, so I'm gonna skip ahead. I'm an older guy. I rode a little bit of motocross when I was a kid, but I never had a formal fundamental. No one ever taught me the fundamentals. My dad, he rode motorcycles, but you know, he gave me a good knowledge of what to do, but like fundamentals for racing and stuff, no one ever really taught me those. So, you know, now that I'm older, I've been trying to learn a lot more about the fundamentals because they're really important. They're what saves you when you get in trouble. And I've been watching Moto Academy, and they got a lot of videos, and the one thing I learned is like when you're riding like this, standing, you know, you want your feet, you want the balls of the feet on the peg. The balls of the feet are the part behind your toes, and you want your heels down low, and you want your knees pretty straight. And the key is you keep your knees straight, and then you don't get worn out so fast. And that was one of the mistakes I was making for years. I was always bending my knees, and I could do this for like 2 minutes, and then I'd be totally gassed and be like, why can everyone race the whole moto standing up? And I could barely ride for 2 minutes. I couldn't understand it. But lately I've been trying to change to keep that straight more, and that has really helped. It allows me to finish like a section like this, where I stand like 50% of the time. And that may seem dumb to a lot of you experienced riders, but for an average rider, the fundamentals are real important. And you don't even realize it. Somebody just, yeah, they're just making new routes because they're so whooped out. Like, we must be getting close to a start or something, because it's crazy whooped out in that section. Alright guys, so this is kind of fun. I like making these videos, going exploring new trails, but I think I only got one trail in me, and then I'll have to call it quits. And I'm on my way home, so I'll only be able to film one today. But there are 2 others in the area. I would like to check out the 50-inch wide trail, because sometimes those are sand, and they're, oh Jesus, those are not as whooped out. Yeah, this section here is so whooped out, it's just miserable. Can't recommend it till they groom it, I'll be honest. Get a groomer out here. Alright, check our phone mount. Solid. So we gotta go all the way around down there, and then that's the trailhead. Second gear takeoff. Real iffy on the 500. Can easily do it, but you fog too low and it probably is gonna die. But like you say, like you can tell from my video, made the past couple videos, I haven't been killing the 500 at all. You just gotta learn how to ride. You don't want to ride like a 300 two-stroke. You want to be a little bit higher in RPM. Not a lot, but if you got to get down that low, you know, make sure you got your clutch finger ready, because you'll hear the motor kind of going chuk chuk chuk. You just got to pull it in then. But I did have that issue I mentioned in a previous video, or I may have mentioned. I don't know if I'll upload that video first or not, but I had an issue where the bike was doing all kinds of weird stuff, and I found out that whenever you take one of these beta 4-strokes to a new area, you gotta let it acclimate. And what it does is it resets the stepper motor in the throttle body, and you just let it, you just turn it on, you don't touch the throttle at all. You let it go up until like the fan kicks on, and then you shut it off. And it'll reset in the computer a setting based on all types of computer sensitive stuff, like barometric pressure and, you know, temperature and all that. At least I think it does. It definitely changes the setting in the stepper motor. I don't know what it bases on, honestly. But after I did that, mine ran great. I had an issue where I started it up, I was getting ready for a trip, and I had a really high idle. I didn't know why, so I let it warm up that way, and ended up that the throttle cable right here was pulled out, and it was hung up inside on this brass fitting. And mine's a new one. I changed my throttle cable because I raised my bars. I got a Motion Pro, but the stock one gets hung up pretty easy. You might accidentally pull it when you're moving the bike around, and then you have a high idle, and you'll be like, "What the hell?" But that's the problem. Just pull it and push it back in there, and it'll be fixed. Not a lot of roots in this area. That's nice. Oh, this section's pretty cool. Alright. Oh, it's nice. I wonder where that other guy went. Because I'm almost done with the loop. Maybe he's following me. It'd be weird if he was behind me and I didn't know it. He was an older guy. I don't know how fast he is. A lot of these old guys, they're ex-racers and stuff. But I guess you could say I'm an ex-racer because I was a kid racer. Well, but I was the slowest kid on the track. Unless there was another kid as slow as me, I'd always beat him. It's weird when the skill level is super different, you don't try as hard. But when the kids are close to you, it gives you incentive to try harder if you want to beat them. Yeah, I love the sound of this bike. This sounds good. Yesterday my brother and I were riding our two-stroke. He has his EC300 and I had my MR Pro. And I started mine up and was letting it warm up. And he was next to me. He couldn't even hear his. I don't know if it's something to do with fuel injection or what, but his bike's quiet. You know what? I think I got my camera on, but I'm going to kill myself, or not kill myself, I'm going to kick myself if I don't. I want to make sure. Oh yeah. Alright. 60 gear start. Reset my mirror so I can check this stuff. right here, man. That just kills my knees. I've seen guys fly through like in third gear, hitting those like whoops on a motocross track. I don't know how they do it. Next to all these trees and stuff. They're just really good. That'd be scary. Okay, we're around down the bottom corner. Oh, which way do we go? I think we gotta go right. I don't know where left. Okay guys, so alright guys, I'm all done with the trail. I just completed the whole loop. There are a few sections to the south that I didn't do. There are a couple loops in the area that I didn't do. And yeah, here's my 2 cents on the trail. What you're going to experience is lots of these pine trees. And the trail just winds in between them and stuff. So you end up with a situation where every now and then you get tight sections between 2 big trees. You got cut down bars, you probably won't have any issues. But even with big bars, it's not an issue. You just gotta be careful in those areas. But the trail, it's a nice trail. It winds pretty far. It's definitely a workout. But the one thing I will say is this trail is really, really whooped out. It is probably the most whooped out trail I've been on, more so than like my Tomahawk trails, which I'm really familiar with. But yeah, so if you don't mind the whoops, you got good knees and thighs and everything. It's a good workout. Once you get far into the trail, maybe 2/3 of the way in or like 1/3 of the way in, it starts to smooth out some. I think you lose all the stragglers. All the tourists that come out, they get tired, they turn around the first mile. But the trail deep back in the trail is much better than the trail by the trailhead. So that's my 2 cents on the trail. I like the area. I'm glad I visited it. Will I come back? I probably won't make any special trips to come back, that's for sure. But if you check online, and they talk about when they groom this trail, sometimes they bring a drag out and they drag the trail. That would be the weekend to come because it will be awesome. So I hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for the next one. See you later, down the road.